Kia ora whānau, and welcome to another delayed episode of Get a Job and Get Healthy with Costas Enterprises. I am your ever-loving host, Alex Costas, and so I wanted to apologise again for the late delay. This is going to be a very quick episode. It's basically going to talk about what I've been going through, why I've been so slack a little bit, and where I am going forward. The competition is still going. I haven't had any entries yet, so don't forget that there is a competition before I hit my 100th episode. So feel free to flick those questions through to me, and you can win either a 2-hour consulting session with myself, which could involve a new CV or cover letter, or alternatively job interview skills, or $100 New Zealand worth of stuff from my Redbubble shop. If you want to contact me, you can at doncostas@gmail.com. That's DON for Nike, COSTAS @gmail.com. You can also contact me via Twitter and Instagram at thekiwidon, or you can go to my website www.costasenterprises.business.blog, and you can contact me through there as well. So yeah, just drop me a line with a question, and I will do the questions, and then we will do a random from the names that are supplied by the questions that are given. We will do a random pick out and draw for the winner. So I am actually again doing this while I'm driving, which I know I'm not supposed to, but I am, so that's fun. But I thought I'd give you a little update. It's been about 4 to 5 weeks since my last episode, and again, I am going to try and get better at this, but I am a bit distracted at the moment, which is why it's taking so long. But I thought I'd give you a heads up on what's going on in Alex's life. So, I sort of, a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of episodes ago, I told you how my mother was in hospital. She wasn't doing too well, and there was a possibility that we might lose her. And coming to terms with all of that sort of stuff was really, really bad. So we've had to put Mum into a home, and so that is where I'm at the moment. It's been a very, very long and arduous process, but also very, very hard as well, because of the cost of the home. It means that we're going to also have to sell the house that we grew up in and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty emotional stuff. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a fast process, but it kind of has to be a faster process. So I'm in the process of trying to find some time for myself to actually get rid of everything and, relax a bit, find the things that we do want to hold on to, and yeah, it's been a bit of a process. Just to give you some clarity on how much it costs, because you may or may not know, and if you are looking at potentially retiring at some time, you may need to know about a rest home. At the moment, so my mother requires not rest home care, but what we call hospital level care. So hospital level care means that you're very, very sick and that you're going to need basically 2 people every time to try and help you get around and all that sort of stuff. So if you're sick and you need someone to help wash you need someone to help sort your food out, you can't move very much, like that. That's where we're at for the residential care. For the hospital level care. Well, the hospital level care is basically $285 a day at the place where you are. Now, because of Mum and what she needs in her life, she's actually it's a little bit harder for her. She's actually needs a bigger room to accommodate her bed, which is a special bed that she needs and all that sort of stuff. So that means that it's an extra $50 on top, and that's per day. I'm not going to give you the exact figures, but let's just say that you're looking at around about $10,000 a month for this situation. So as you can imagine, it's not exactly the easiest when you haven't saved for a retirement home, which we haven't, because we're Kiwis, and Kiwis don't really do that. They don't think about their future that far, and this is kind of my warning to start thinking about that stuff, and also for myself to start thinking about that, because, you know, when me and my partner get old enough, we want to be able to have enough money to cover off the costs of a rest home and all that sort of stuff in case we need it. Now, bear in mind that the place that we're staying is not the creme de la creme of rest homes, and it's not a bad rest home. It's still pretty good, but at the same time, it's not like, you know, we've got some in Wellington which are very, very expensive, and you're paying for that expense. So as you can imagine, it's a bit of a shock in that respect. Trying to go from, you know, living on our New Zealand super wage, which isn't much, like it's about, you know, a fortnight you might get close to $900 if you're lucky, in hand as well. And when, you know, you're paying $300 a day, well, after 3 days your super's gone. Like there's nothing you can do about it. So it means that I you know, I'm going to have to sell all the stuff, sell the house so that we can afford to pay. People in New Zealand will be like, oh, but what about the residential care subsidy? What they don't realise is the residential care subsidy, which is a subsidy that is available, is only available to those that have less than $200,000 in your account. Now, we are in that case. We have less than $200,000. However, we have a house. And because of the sale of the house, they consider that as the equity, the assets, and that they call it easily accessible money which can be used to pay the rest home. So basically, we're up a creek without a paddle, which means we're going to have to sell the house unless she gets well enough for her to come back home, which I'm being completely open and honest. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Like, she's quite bad. She's been in the hospital for 3 months because of her mobility and stuff. So yeah, it's looking less likely, basically. So yeah, that's been tying on my road a little bit, and you know, it has been pretty hard to deal with. You know, because you got to think, like, I go to work, I go home. As soon as I go home, I go to see the hospital. I sort out the residential care stuff. Like, it's not a simple process. So it took us about 2 months to try and find a place first for her, let alone a place that would be able to accommodate her as well, which is the other thing. So it hasn't been the best process. The people that I've dealt with during the time has been fantastic, and I'm not skirting anything like that. Like, they really have been amazing. But the process and how much it costs and stuff, even though it is, like, the hospital rate is actually a government set rate, so it's not like you're, you know, no matter what, everyone will get the hospital level care rate at that rate. But when you don't have things like the New Zealand Super to cover that, then that's that's part of the problem, basically. So yeah, we're sort of dealing with all of those things, and it's been interesting, let's put it that way. Other news, I am going to Australia for about a week for a mate's wedding, and that is going to be in about 3 weeks' time. So it's my first time travelling in a long time, especially overseas. And this time I will be travelling back by myself. I am a lot more, I'm not exactly the best flyer. I think I can handle it at times, but at the same time, it's not really, it's not really one of those things that I'm fantastic at. Especially because we live in Wellington, where, it is quite windy, the weather gets bad, and, when you're on a plane and the wind is just going crazy, it's pretty shocking. Wellington Airport is it's actually considered one of the worst airports for pilots because, it's not exactly the longest of runways. It's a fairly shortish runway. There's a 21-foot deep hole in the middle. I say hole, it's actually a dip. And then the other part is there's water on both sides. So, if you miss the runway, you got to pull up, go around, try again, or you hit the water on either side. So that's fun. But yeah, I am looking forward to the trip. I haven't been to Australia in a long time, and specifically this part of Australia I've been to when I was a child, so I don't really remember it. For Brisbane, which is where I'm going, and then also going to a place called Toowoomba, which is like the country music, the Australian country music sort of town, and also going to Gold Coast, which I'm really looking forward to because that's where sort of like Warner Brothers Movie World and all that sort of stuff live, which I'm a geek for that sort of stuff, so I will geek out quite a bit on those things, I think. But yeah, other than that, getting ready for that. I just booked accommodation last night, even though I waited, I've known about this for a year-ish, and I left it to the last minute to find accommodation, so that's good times, obviously. And honestly, accommodation wasn't too bad. All in all, it's costing me about the same price as the flights, so that's something. What else is going on? Work has been very busy, but also really good. I've learned a lot about myself and what we've done a thing called the Clifton Strengths, which is about 34 strengths that everyone has, and you identify your top 5, top 10, and then sort of your bottom 5, bottom 10, and each skill that you have is identified as a skill, and it helps you learn how to use those skills, but also how you can use those in a team as well. So it was a very lengthy process. It's really, really interesting stuff. So yeah, we've sort of done a lot of stuff on that at the moment, and yeah, I really enjoy it, basically. Learning about it and learning how I can use my strengths to do what I need to. I've also had another idea for not a print-on-demand shop, but a digital delivery shop. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go look probably back at Spring, but also look at Etsy. I won't tell you about the idea until it's live, because I'm still sort of trying to work out and develop what I'm trying to do. But let's just say it's going to be something that you wouldn't expect. I don't think there's many people out there that have thought of this, not to the same degree that I will be doing it. So it's I think it's going to be really, really interesting, and the pricing won't be silly, but at the same time, you got to remember, when it is a digital delivery, there's barely any startup cost. So that's kind of what I'm going for, is, minimal impact, something I can put up, it can sit there in the background, and then it just earns everything. I will look at some more videos on how to set up an Etsy store, because I've never done that. I know that it does costs per living, so there will be an initial startup cost, but my goal is that basically if I get a few sales, that'll cover the cost of everything that I need to worry about. As for the Spring side, I'm going to prioritize Etsy at this stage. Spring will be something that I am looking at, but I know that Spring probably needs a little bit more, and will need a little bit more to also be created as well. But I would like to see some of the things that Spring can do and create my own Spring shop again. Another thing that I started doing is I actually started streaming, believe it or not. I play my games at times, so I started streaming for about a week and a half now. I don't stream every day, but I try to at the moment. I stream a little bit of Fortnite, which I'm useless at. I've done one stream of Fall Guys, where I won my first crown, which was my last stream that I sort of did. And I also stream a little bit of Dokkan, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, which is the mobile game that I play. So yeah, it's been nice. It's been a good outlet. I don't have a camera up. I'm just doing this all. Usually, I'm doing it through either my phone or I'm doing it through, or I'm doing it through my PlayStation. So yeah, it was a lot easier to set up. I do stream on Twitch, so this isn't a purple. I'm not streaming to either one or the other. I just trialing it out basically at the moment. It's going fun. I've got about 10 followers. There is a Twitch affiliate program, like a Twitch partner, where you've got to do, some of the things you've got to do to be a Twitch partner is you've got to stream, on 8 separate days, I believe. Stream for over 8 hours. Oh, stream on 7 different days, sorry. Stream for over 8 hours. Have a total of 50 followers. And also so when you're streaming, you have a consistency of about 3 followers, I think. So that means people are actually watching you. Now, I'm not going to be like, oh, you should follow me, guys. I do this for fun. It's basically so I can have a laugh, but I can talk at the same time and all that sort of shit. So if you want to follow, sweet as. If you don't, sweet as. I'm not asking for subs or anything like that, I'm not going to be, turning myself into a Twitch girl going, ooh, ooh, whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, it is a lot easier. It's a great way to get out aggression as well. Like my Fall Guys stream, I named it I didn't name that I won a crown, but I put on Twitter that I won a crown and on Facebook and all that sort of stuff, because I've played that game since it came out onto PlayStation Plus, and we're talking over a year now probably. I never won a crown. I got to the final round a couple of times, and I was fully expecting that night just to not do it. And the main thing I wanted to unlock the latest outfit that was there on the battle pass, and yeah, so I made sort of like a goal to myself. I was like, right, if I get to the final round, no matter what happens, whether I win, whether I lose, I'm going to keep going. And then if I get knocked out during that next round, then fine. Otherwise, if I make it to the final, I'm going to keep going. So I said this to my, non-followers, but I kept my demands with it. And I said the only time I stop is if I win a crown, or if I get knocked out before then. And this is after I'd already streamed for an hour. And in my head, I was like, oh, I'd like to get to like level 26, which unlocks the new outfit and lots of things. Well, one crown win took me up like 4 levels. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I did that right at the end of like an hour and a half stream. So it was probably one of my longest streams. Before that, I think I did like an hour. I try to average around about an hour. I've done a couple of test streams, which were, 30 minutes and so forth. So yeah, I'm still trying to learn my place and learn my space. Whether I look at trying to go into actually adding the face camera and all that sort of things at some time, possibly. I would want to learn more about how to do that stuff. But at the same time, I'm not going to go stupid, because there's no real reason for that. Because at the moment, the camera that I would have would be my phone camera, which if I keep that on for too long, if it's on for more than an hour, it gets quite hot. Even though it is one of the latest, Samsung Galaxy Edge 22s, whatever it is. Oh, no, he's not crossing. So yeah, it's been quite fun. Playing games, talking to people. I had 1 comment so far on one of my streams, and it was basically like, can you use my code in the item box? I was like, okay, it's one of those. Not going to happen. Like, this is for Fortnite. So when you, in the item shop, you can put the creator's code? Well, I have a creator that I follow. He only streams for a good reason, and that's exactly the reason why I do this particular, that's why I use him. His name is Tabortime, Tabourtime. So if you are going to do things like, support Fortnite creators, I would support him. He does it for a good reason, and yeah, I'm not going to say I'm never going to put my own creator code if I get one. I'm not even at that stage yet, so yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not exclusive to Fortnite. I play Fortnite as well. I mostly play Fortnite. However, I actually enjoy playing other games as well, like Dokkan and all that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on with me. I am just trying to get everything done in my life, get things more sorted. This new business idea has also got me thinking about other things in life which I can do and make myself better. So yeah, I all things are coming up Alex at the moment. It's been a long time, and I really apologize to you guys. Like I did want to be there. I did want to sort of give you guys more episodes. That's on me, and I'm going to try and get more motivated to do that, because yeah, I do miss these sessions, these counselling sessions, which they pretty much are. But yeah, I do want to say thank you for listening. Remember, there is a competition going. Please feel free to flip me your questions, and yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic day today. It's like in Wellington, it's a bit grey at the moment, but you know what? It doesn't have to be grey in your heart. Be positive, be happy, and just know that there are people out there that care about you. And I always end this with I love you guys and good luck, and I truly do. I do love you guys. You may think that you're just listening to this and it's just you're listening to some guy ramble about his life. Well, I appreciate you listening, and if there is anything I can do, I do want to try to help you do it, basically. So as always, I love you guys and good luck.